I'm totally and Raph, take. I love it when I improvement. Ready for the game plan? Tag 'em and bag 'em. Warning, April O'Neil.
It's okay, Metalhead. I can figure out the rep.
No!
Whoa! What happened?
Shredder's gonna kill Father, April.
What? Did you guys lose?
No, we won, April. And Shredder's not even gonna touch Master Splinter if we have anything to say about it. But Leo, that spooky guy said... He said nothing we don't already know, Mikey. Shredder's always... Yeah, for us, he was trying to throw... Exactly. And he knew that's what his cat... Whoever that guy is, he's not playing to win. He already thinks he's winning by forcing us to play by him. So what, we just keep playing anyways? We don't really have a choice, do we? But we can choose how we react to what we've just learned. We can either let it derail us after busting our shells to get this far, which is way past what that guy was expecting from us. Or we can use it to drive us forward even harder.
Hello, Daniel.
Well, I might have more motivation to add to the mix. Metalhead finished analyzing the coffee mug while you guys were away. He didn't find anything that would tell us where Master Splinter is right now, but he did discover an important pattern. He cross-referenced each trophy you've won so far against a running lair inventory database he maintains. And it turns out, everything that mystery character has given you matches an item that went missing from the lair at the same time Master Splinter was abducted.
What's that mean in English, April?
It means, if this pattern holds, and based on Metalhead's inventory records, you guys are halfway to bringing Master Splinter home. What trophy did you get this time?
Father's goofy old cook.
Well, I'm not trying to stop you.
Sounds like Casey. Okay, Metalhead, run an inventory check on this apron. Same specs as before.
Analyzer. And analysis complete. Confirmed. Apron matches item missing from most recent inventory audit.
I'm fresh out the shower, y'all.
And our first clue. Nice work, April, Metalhead. See? That mystery jerk thinks he can drag us down with his little tricks and trinkets. Time to show him how wrong he is. About all of us.
Thoughts on being an ego and expertise for this work. What's next for Goldberg? Heat content.
68.91.
Without further delay, let's hand it off to the master of the Builder Gym.
How's it going today?
It's going great.
Stream elements bot
Yo, we're back with episode 469 of Keeping It 100 with Conan, a mighty DI, and Delta Joe. Boom, what it do? What's going on? Yo, we're back like we never left. Let's start off the show like we always do with the shout-outs. I put your name in City 2 Paddocks or any tobacco accent. We keeping it 1,000. BR01 from Patna in Bihar State, India. David Diaz, Rock of Gibraltar.
Whoop some ass.
This is our turf. Anything else ain't invited.
Curtis Norman, Sheffield, England. Steve Barber, Port City, Ireland. Jeremy.
You'll make use of the light. I offer you.
Reach this week. Canada. King Bat, Bale.
Everything went well, my friend.
Out of here.
New York, sure that Brandenburg, Kentucky, unexpected wrestler Billy.
Can't take us on the road, gotta send the whole army.
Wade Mount, Mapleton, Illinois, unexpected Philadelphia, about 15 minutes outside.
Love it.
Only got to see it. House Show 1997 at the Peoria Civic Center.
Time to put this junk to good use.
Versus you 6. 9-1. Then you came back out
The poor chunky block.
which was giant
I'll show you.
I don't know what this all about.
Somebody else. The PGBG Bone Daddy Dragon.
Yep, it's got to be the YouTube.
Gotta take advantage of it while it lasts.
I offer you a portal of poppers.
Slime ones are the worst.
These guys have offering exclusive content, which has approaching such as 100%
More for the scrap.
actually recommended to the receivers. Assuming the first one.
I heard a junk bond, but scrap money.
A challenge, should you accept it?
Hey, boyo, let's settle this one. Dog the turtle.
You found me, or should I say, I found you.
More for the scrap.
Please, not ooze.
I see you around, Hannah.
Wait till I tell a tale.
Moving on. More tears, more better.
Alrighty.
Hey, the chairman guy wants scrap. Who am I to argue?
Of all time, and it actually comes around at the end. It has a story, so it's not. They call it when you have movies like that, like Star. People call that torture porn, as like a sarcastic. This is just torture porn. This is very, very violent with a story, but it comes around at the end with a story, and it's just like the my mind the first time I saw this. Which one's better, the Martyr in Japan or the Martyr English? The Martyr's one from Martyr's 2000. Oh, from France? Yeah. It's crazy.
Turtle Thursday.
If you pass that along,
This week.
I don't know, I give it serious. I don't want to come back and be like, what's wrong with you? It's fucked up. She already knows you're fucked up in the head.
Are you guys ready for the, let's start off hot here, Patreon mailbag. Joe, what are our suspensions like for last week? We had a lot of it.
Not as much as a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago was a purge.
Yeah, that was a big time purge. So, Adam Danilo got a red card. That was brutal. Let me just say this. That was brutal. There was no truth of Bigfoot. Just a guy sitting on his porch, saying he saw.
Oh, F you, Melted. Rev always rules it. You don't ever say that on this channel again.
Express. Dr. Fungus 9% and 2 emails. You got Mr. Torres here, no question asked on weak and well or yellow card for making fun of Disco's year. Let me go back a second, Joe. And I'm not picking on him, Disco, so you don't start crying. What is that? Shouldn't Joe be in charge of somebody sending 2 emails? Isn't he the last line of defense on that?
Well, they'll never get suspended if you just don't get to see the other email. They'll never get suspended. They're basically sending 2 emails in, but it's taking under 2 emails. It's positive 3 weeks. You got 2 emails because you got to. Yeah, you got one from let me see here. I got a suspension from Twitter. I want to announce. Where did this guy make this comment here? JJ Claxon made a comment on my. He's in charge of our TikTok, correct?
Yeah, I'm
Best wishes on the trial.
1 to 6, you up?
That's special right there.
Stick this thing over.
I thought it followed it. I was just where the hell is it?
I think it's up with Conan. I just saw it on his TV. This goes to you're responsible for that.
Let me ask you that. What is that? So that's read the tweet while I'm looking for this Jersey class.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
Are you such a when you tweeted that I made the comment, okay, somebody said this is Disco Current joke brought to life by AI, the vision of evil architect named Bill Gates. Then I said fake news, Bill Gates was Terry Taylor's idea, and he would happily admit it. This is the 6,547 time I've had to repeat this. They didn't contract requirements to say I but did you put fake news? You said fake news is my response, or fake news is about the Bill Gates?
Yeah, fake news about your response. You are responsible for that. You're trying to palm it off on Terry.
You're fake news. You are fake news on your response that it was fake news. 100% Terry Taylor. Okay? And since you reconcile it, you can get a drop next time you see him and say that this one is that it's fake.
So, Joe. Yes. That blue drink that you're drinking, did they give that to you free or you bought it? I saw there's a big sale on Facebook, so I was like, let me just try it. And how is it? It's alright. The flavors are a little strange. Like, the best one is the strawberry banana, but there was some whack flavors for sure. Where I was like, what is different?
This Batman swagger. Oh, yeah, he got that swagger.
Back in suspension, it's going to be mailbag here, Patreon. Joe's dad, Mr. Wonderful, self-professed Mr. Wonderful. Hey, Conan Disco, the son that I never heard from. Oh, that's... Joe, why don't you ever call your dad? We text and stuff like that every night. How often do you see your dad? Not maybe. How far does your dad live from you? 5 minutes. You're a terrorist. I am a terrorist. Oh, but you guys not get any younger, Joe. Why don't you go play around the pool in a couple of pool halls down the street here in Delco? Yeah, I mean... You guys just smoke cigarettes? I drink vodka, food. Yeah, but usually if I'll go out and get a beer or something, but I cut that, so I haven't been involved in that. Tony, could you that's the only thing you can do.
That's your ass.
Nah, we're like, when he emailed a couple weeks ago, we're going to go to the movies and stuff this summer. And, I told him, why don't you go take him to go see Mission Impossible?
On IMAX.
Yeah, well, what you're hearing it now.
Yeah. I guess we never thought about it. That would be off the chain.
Make sure it's any good.
Guess they don't know how to embed them. I don't know, but they can always use computer.
Choices aren't to make them see stuff that I don't want to see, you know. So,
all right, well, you can go see a movie with your dad. If it doesn't take
so let's say your wife wanted to see a movie, but you didn't. Are you not going to go to the movies with her to make her happy? Yeah, probably. She owes me. I owe her a lot of. She owes us to watch the shit I want to watch. So.
Your dad in that respect. You know what I'm going to call you from now on, Joe? You're not Delco Joe Speedy, you're just Delco Dad. You know, like a Delco, we're going to word Joe want to use. The Delco Dad baby. Yeah.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, Kate, Conan Disco, the son that I ever hear from, do you think this process is snowball
transfer me, sir?
Being Sammy David to PLE this weekend? Or you definitely just continuously wanted to hang with a hang with his contract with guy. Seems like you got a deep cup of high thanks to the Joe's dad.
Big Cross fan.
Yeah, of course the character work is great. It's probably just, I like watching his matches, and he looks very rusty out there. Or maybe it's part like a watch.
At least from what I see on the social media stuff and reading reports, he mostly comes out on like the main event pre-show.
Yeah, so it's like I'm seeing the clips of some of the cigarettes lurking things. Like, you know, you need to get, and this match for Sammy Lee, you need to be killing Cross and throw this guy around. You know, have the WWE style match you got. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to get, but the angles have built up well. There's definitely interest. So I the tag team has been very good between the two. Yeah,
I'll give it more than a 50%.
I like the way like this series. They gave us tag team. Yeah, I
guess that's what crossover. It will come off as an upset.
No,
never going to happen.
I think staying there. Here, I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to talk next is Mark from New Bedford. Are you any comment on that?
I think this is Cross's last chance, and Sammy's got like that old X-Pac spot. You can't have a good match with him. Who can you have a good match with? We know Cross can. I hope this is not his last chance, but it seems like it is.
Oh, God,
They could all do like that too. I mean, they get to the old Irish shit before they get to the late guys. And second, believe it or not, the two who trained with their Thunderbird, who parted out, who were 3 times talented the Rams like Hope. And for whatever reason, they just didn't make it big. I'm fascinated because where did the only time I've ever heard this guy's name? So I'm just wondering, a little more about those guys, why he thinks they've got anything. How do they have any kind of contracts, red bets, and anything?
Well, these two were tier 1 guns, and they used to train where me and Ray trained. And they were definitely 3 times more talented than Ray, because Ray was just breaking in. And me and Ray used to actually, as a shoot, used to come out of the dressing room, because they didn't have monitors back then, just to watch them wrestle. Like, we were big marks for them.
Hey, princess.
They really were incredible. So I brought Thunderbird first to Mexico, and he got nervous, and he wasn't the same guy, and he didn't trust Antonio Pena, and then Cardinal, I didn't want to bring him yet because he had a bad temper and he was going to fight. He had someone in the locker room, so I just wanted, to bring him in the future, and it never happened. But these two were definitely, you can ask Ray how great they were.
I'd
like to see if Roy has the footage in this one. He has all that old footage and everything.
Mexican North, Jason Church, hey guys, my manager made a video breaking down what he likes to do with the chip wheel. That camera looks like how to subscribe to it. We did the video for more views, everything Tuesday is cooking. Seriously, maybe it's time to get your head out of your ass and break the good stuff. Don't just close, you think it's bland and looking at the too. Anyways, when I had you guys there in April, I want the one fast, let's look into that. Think would be the best company, and if you think this correct about the good thing,
he is the correct. He doesn't like to eat and say, hey, I like this burger, this pizza, this.
I bet you.
I'm not a big fan. I told Joe this before, and I've told Hughley this before, but I guess until I blow up, they're going to continue to do it. Do not make executive decisions without telling me, because if the fans didn't tell us this was happening, we'd have no fucking idea. And if Tony would have texted me crying like a little bitch, I wouldn't have known anything about fucking, or what do you call this, about what's his name?
Well, I guess I gotta go pee. Hold on.
The fucking YouTube while I'm working with the guy. Video, the image he would use for video.
He said he still does it too, brother. That's
fine. I don't give a fuck now, but back then,
yeah, he's definitely a loose cannon. But I want to, Joe, do this, please. Go on Rock.
He may be an unemployed cannon, but go ahead.
Go on Rock and look up where food ranks and content on YouTube.
Yep.
That is a subject matter.
Bro, there's a whole channel called The Food Channel. I watch it a lot, too.
My mom,
yeah.
Remember when ESPN, all of a sudden, they didn't have the tennis or something, whatever there was some content on ESPN that they took it off.
Right.
Right? It was like, what the freak? So my mom, I guess it was the tennis shows or something, there was a bunch of content that was on ESPN. They took it off ESPN. You couldn't see it anymore. You had to get YouTube TV. So my mom switched from the streaming to YouTube TV. Okay, it was cable. Cable was not carrying the ESPN stuff or something. They had a big Comcast, whatever, AT&T had an issue with ESPN, right? So they did the content. So my mom went on YouTube TV, right? And she discovered YouTube TV, basically discovered YouTube, and all she does all day on YouTube now is watch recipes.
Yeah.
Food recipes. So it's like, I bet this got to be way up, right?
Anyway. Let me just say this. I'm a huge fan of the Food Network. I don't know if Giada still does it, but I used to watch her show. The Beat Bobby Flay one I like a lot. When they have competition, when they have competition between chefs, then there's another one. And I think this one's with, what's the guy with the fucking white hair standing up that's popular?
Gordon Ramsay?
No, what's his fucking name? The fucking... Guy Fieri.
Oh, Fieri.
Yeah.
And he's got this show called Diamond Dives. Excellent.
Well, and also don't forget about the pizza thing that the Barstool guy does all the time. That's actually made him popular. But I mean, that's something that could work, like, because a lot of these guys will do live, like, oh, let me try this burger for the first time. Like, if we all tried something at the same time, like a sour candy or hot and whatever, or, you know what I'm saying? So people can see us trying it, then that might work. That's a little bit different than just discussing. I'm not saying that doesn't work, but trying things for the first time is a little bit stuff.
I think my shit's so clogged up, I just need to pump it.
Rank some the top 5 to 10 categories for the 3 videos attract millions of and
oh, that feel me right there.
For a bruising.
Taste test.
Time for that invisible lady who's always talking to us to put her money where her mouth goes.
And yeah, 2 channels are new.
So Fuji's wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't say wrong. Let's establish that in the middle of the email, but Fuji is 100%, you know. Anyway, the one that you guys there, Malenko. There was a lot of shit
Best
against
wishes
Mary
on your
Clark.
trial.
Did other boys. I thought Jim Duggan he's the type of guy Bill Watson never found. And more recently, David and Steve Richards have both proved he was a dick for an agent. That Dave was very green guys because he resented having their agent matches the guys thought he could outwork. You guys always turn over to these. Why do you think he gets so much heat? And why do you think his WWE run was so short? Thanks. I'll start. Number 1, he was kind of boring for style, but he was an incredible technician. And he had a massive respect because he was Joe Malenko's son, and he was a shooter. He didn't look it. He was
Boris Malenko.
Boris Malenko, excuse me. And he could twist you into a pretzel if he wanted to. Okay, so you have a lot of respect like that, right? Jim Duggan said he's the type of guy Bill Watson never hired. Maybe not because he's undersized, but he would work with the cruiserweights at WCW. That's different, you know. For one reason, maybe the Steve Richards at both times he's a big for an agent. I would suggest that Dave's sharp wit and dry wit is definitely misinterpreted.
Check it out.
I get it. You know,
the next day I was a military size Malenko, second generation, and the first thing was right there over the side of the manuscript, so we're on a little too much. When Malenko went there, stated success on me, went up to the competitor straight as 2 minutes for together. Instead of taking me back to a simple task on Malenko decided to walk through the ship.
Yeah, that's stepping me up.
I didn't know I was able to bring myself to finish them. I was too much being being pushed up already. Even though it's the best days and left without a half of the earlier than we started. As long as I was here and so well, I got to know the question I say. Wow.
He's making it up. But here's the thing. We were running team every time I went to WWE to visit,
What don't kill me makes me stronger.
sometimes Dominic would be there with him. This before he was wrestling, and Dean would say, Dominic's taking his son to work.
Yeah, like Dick Trent. Yeah, that's not being a dick. That's just being funny. You know,
But if you don't know him,
You think you're a ninja?
look, there's nobody there. Yeah, let me just say one thing. Everybody tries to tell me, oh, I'm not a dick, I'm not an asshole. In fact, I'll be a dick and has been everybody.
Say about the people.
I wouldn't put you into the people didn't know you, and they thought, oh, just because it's gooseball, it doesn't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. Check it out. With me. You have to do something, you guys became great friends. They know what has subscribed to.
Look that up.
A challenge should you accept it.
By land or by sea.
We only have experienced with that. If you're next to us, if you want to get in from the government,
hold on, folks.
Take your fucking headphones on. Download for these 4 nights. After those 4 nights, you can live 3 to 4 weeks without communicating with people. I think the traveling you do, you keep the stick earphones in the room, your 4 language. All those hours you have just time to fly and stay traveling, take your arm, right?
Right. I think, I mean, the Conan probably knows, you get to this looking up, but the Conan, do you know you guys have had language training support classes or anything at the PC? No.
If I knew that I was going to go here, if I was going to Mexico, I was going to be working down there for like 6 months straight year. I don't speak around a little bit of Spanish right now to give me the people go to but I don't know. But I would start learning more like when the language is in matches. I would just try to become a little bit more proficient to be able to communicate. It's like if you communicate, if there's like when a Spanish, if you're speaking to a Spanish person and they know nothing, like 1 out of 5 points of understand, you can't communicate with somebody like that. Guys that are like 3 to 4 words in their English is not great, but if you get by, it's like, okay, you know, you're using that. If you use only wrong, it's like that's bankruptcy. You're grateful to do not estimate yourself down. And like if you can't, you need to be able to communicate with people more clearly if you want to get over.
You know, if Brock says that he does provide language training support at the performance center, and then it says here Julia has mentioned taking English lessons twice a week. So.
Well, watch your push. If the office likes stuff like that, people that are taking the effort to make themselves more marketable to their audience, if you watch, Julia's going to start getting she'll have a couple trajectory on that show. 100% if she's trying, if she's learning it. And plus, if it's showing on the TV, if her English is getting better. You know, it's like a message to the rest of the lot, because English is that good. Hey, learn the language, and you get to go higher up in the card. It's kind of, it's a simple, simplistic, and very, you know, what we call it, successful strategy to use. Guys, here's some unsettled news. Average testosterone levels in the each shown the stimulus populace that LEGF and Figure Book of Doom, the title of the round. Every innovation has been knowing he can't defeat something that hidden comic that was something at WWE. But Goldberg can then play a bodyguard character in fashion. Takes mine from Breaking Bad. Sorry for the marathon of the stuff, and I questioned all you guys, including not only the discomfort but also the Delta Inferno. Let's do a week suspension of after the Delta Inferno. We can stop what you right? What did you do with this last Goldberg run? By the way, there are 2 Seans from the UK. I'm the one who hasn't yet received the yellow card. That's Sean from the UK. Is this what you do with the Goldberg? You're asking for your access to book the Goldberg one? But no, this is not what I do.
How exactly are we going to get back to shore?
You're like, I've said, like, I think, you know, the face term is right in the taking because the heel back and the reflex. They can actually do that. They do it. We're going past you're going to take it goes from the hunter to be the hunter, and then back. And then the badass basically, because when you see any badass, no help. And I want it to go, you know what I'm saying?
It's just out there. I don't think it's consider to do. I would the resident screenwriter and future CZW Booker Bakers. Well, they did, the internet fans aren't going to like. They're not going to like him coming in and having a fight and shit. They're not like when he's right.
You just missed me, bitch. Again.
He thanked you, and he was in WWE. Right, and I would be booking. In Saudi Arabia, that's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be good. He said, I mean, I would probably just do it 5-6 minute matchups so those we don't get wins. I don't see, and just have Goldberg stand out, have a good performance, and things, but I wouldn't even be Goldberg. And this guy's idea of using him as a heavy advantage group, another way for Goldberg TMNT off. So that's really what it is.
The one thing with the missing of the tweet okay, would be is that whatever the outcome is, and whatever it is that should be completely up to it, it's presented people talking about possibly this video. I was going to just
So let me just say this: I believe, I'm always amazed at how WWE doesn't work all the time. How sometimes they can make something that you didn't think would be that good much better, right? So I'm interested to see what they do in this match, only because of Goldberg's limitations. And obviously what he did to Lesnar was, can you replicate that again? He's 58, but if the guy won the title, he's not going to be defending it, like Gunther could, so they'll probably make it look like he's going to win, put him in a good fight, lose.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just interested to see.
Yeah.
But Goldberg's not something that really just because of his limitations in the ring, and he really can't do much. And as far as that goes, the hot topics right now, you guys know you can't put it in. Moves the pay-per-view Saturday, or that's just set in stone.
Oh, man.
Didn't they go to a ceasefire? Well, they both fired on each other today, so.
At the end, they haven't done if anybody thinks that it's dead over.
When you see the Twitter conversation,
Twitter.
Everybody's calling.
All the influencers and social media people are trying to get a W every day. Mm-hmm. Like with their narrative for today. Like, oh, what do you think? The other thing, it's just hey, it's all intelligent. It's like,
get down, girl.
Saying, like, how dare you send people in the Saudi Arabia League?
The stupidest. Well, what do they think is going to happen? First of all, Riyad's not going to get attacked, and the plane's not going to get shot down.
Yeah.
All right, and it's almost 800 miles away just to cut the story.
And like, I saw here on the amount of. Let me ask you a question, Disco, so you can give me an update. The last thing I heard, they signed a ceasefire, right? Or they were going to sign a
ceasefire. Then like there's shooting near the end, and then like ceasefire is supposed to be at 7 o'clock, and an hour afterwards they fired another big one, and a couple hours after that, additional fire back after the ceasefire, and then I haven't heard anything since then.
Here's my favorite part. I want to show this phone in if you haven't seen it.
As soon as you make the deal, they come out and they grab the load of bombs that I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with this look. They say, okay, now you have 12 hours. You don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy with Israel going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land that was shot. The shot mistake that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. They basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
He's awesome.
But that's what people like him.
Yeah, right.
Basically,
and even the people that were saying, oh, he goes great, he just said, I'm not happy with it. What the fuck are they doing?
Oh, that's the peace. Okay, when they try to make peace, you're gonna have to go to each side, you're gonna have to make concessions. If that side is not happy about making concessions to the other side. So it's like, how do you make peace? Don't you stir cause a bunch of bad conflict with peace. Hey, by the way, why did we get
Let me just say one last thing. My favorite part is when Iran called Trump to tell him no, let him know he was going to send some missiles to the base. Remember? To the base, and what was the base? The base that Iran bombed.
This place gives me the creeps.
And nobody got killed. Yeah, but
and I heard that they gave like a 12-hour notice.
Right, exactly.
I'm like, what is going? Like, bro, it's so very difficult to decipher intel.
Right.
Like what needs to be said? What makes sense? What doesn't make it? No, I just don't. It's very hard to figure what actually is going on. Like we're literally hey, we're radioing ahead to go to bomb you.
Right.
Like that's a thing.
I think this is what I think. I think they, they destroyed their nuclear capabilities and jets and all that. Because Israel did a real good job of taking care of them. Yeah. Right. And so I think they were thinking we don't want to push out the United States anymore, so we'll let them know that this is happening. But I assume they didn't want it to get out. Because it's fake news.
People are like, this is why I want you to get a lot of people. Okay? We have bases all over the world, right? And I guess somebody posted this graphic on the other day, and they were talking about the area of peace of every major military in the world, right? Dude, it's like, so talk about that tweet. And so there's a tweet showing a graph of the aerial capabilities of each country's military. Okay? It's unfathomable. Like the American military is dude, we have so many planes all over the planet. We've got like almost 15,000 aircraft, right?
We've been on war machine. Think about this.
Yeah.
And I know you've heard this before, but for those that haven't, the United States invests more money in their military than the next 15 countries combined. That's been going on for a long time. And even Eisenhower said it before he left. Watch the military industrial complex, and he said this in the 50s or 60s.
And it's like, okay, we de facto have become the world's peacekeepers, supposedly. That's our narrative. Okay, we're trying to throughout the world because we propose peacekeepers, like military, like the bases all over the planet, right? But there's something going on with people like the thing is like, at what point are we actually calling everybody to keep the peace as opposed to antagonizing conflict? You know what I'm saying? That's the issue that our country faces globally. Is, we print money, we give money to rich countries, print money instead of the country, and we call it, hey, because we're giving this money, we put a couple military bases over here, we do that, and it's just like, no, that's what it's fair to do.
Yeah.
Because the United States is like, we're in everybody's business. And it's like, if you sit there and say, how do we feel if Russia, like, if people with Mexico, and Russia decided to build a military base in Tijuana? Like, if Russia gave us let's build, what would our country do?
Like me and the
States. What would we do? We got.
We're very calling you know about this. What was the deal with the whole, do they have a base or do they just place planes and weapons on it?
So Castro wanted to have a relationship with the United States, but the United States is pissed off because he nationalized everything. So if you were like Shell Company, and shoot them out, and so they didn't want to help him, so he went to Russia for help. And Russia decided to put a base in Cuba with a plane with weapons. And then, due to our intelligence, Kennedy found out, and he basically told them, hey, you either get those planes out of there, or we're going to bomb them. And they were like, okay, but you have to get out of Turkey. I think the United States had bases in Turkey. But that never really came out of the public. But that was the deal. You take the missiles out of Cuba, we'll take the missiles out of Turkey.
Give it the fair trade, yeah.
The grass up on the screen.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So basically, going on fucking big. How can you defend? If you're a teacher and you're Russia trying to have, that's why take the people
The biggest thing
we know this, and Trump knows this. Like, we kind of need to, we have all this freaking military. Let's do peace through strength. Let everybody have all this. And instead of bombing everybody all the time, that's already not like, let's just try to make peace to have real stuff with good. You know? And then you got all the people, how do you feel like Lindsey Graham is that they want to drop the bomb, they want to use our military. It's like, well, this is just enough fight that like, nobody wants to F with you, you know?
They do the talk about World War III, about this war, I'm not just worried about airstrikes. Usually in some countries when there's air cells or here, that's a weakness.
Like that's an issue, but two, you got to understand, I don't think Iran, like 90 million people live in Iran, right? I don't think that the Iranians would want to risk the lives of 90 million people and then use a nuclear weapon because you know you're just going to get everybody knows if you use a nuclear weapon, and they're going to be turned around and used right back at you. It's a lose-lose situation, right? The only thing I think people are worried about, and it's funny because like sometimes he nice with the guy is the freaking guy, the North Korean guy, because he doesn't seem like a very logical person. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, but like I heard he killed one of his uncles. They threw him in with a bunch of pigs. Oh, they eat alive by pigs. That pig thing, like the pig eating alive. And then another one. He did a firing squad and he used like an anti-aircraft gun.
There was another one where he said. There was another one where there's like actually a video of it where he sent 2 North Korean female spies.
That's
cooking right.
Poison.
That's the guy you got to worry about.
Trying to come up with a funny.
He's a reasonable human being. You know what I'm saying? Just going to blow it, but we're going to. Do a nuclear
24, 61,
I was down nuclear weapons in their life. Most leaders know the consequences.
Right. Just go mic up a little bit.
All right, next on the mayor, but not a K100 for Side, New Jersey, Disco. He recommends some food spots and some cool things to see or do while in Vegas, besides the obvious. Another note, I was thinking about the Hall of Fame, and I was wondering if there was anyone you should feel get their flowers that has guys like Stevie Richards, Taka Michinoku, D'Lo Brown come to mind. I would say D'Lo Brown. I don't know why Stevie and Taka Michinoku would be going to be the Hall of Famers. Thoughts? P.S. Shout out to Biscuit in the 2K as a character. Hope to see him in the Royal Rumble one day. You never know. I might be like doing one day, maybe. You never know. If they just take every wrestler from the past, they say, let's just get them all, put them in there. You know, I could leave them one day. Especially Jeremy, who's taking care of that's what they do. You know?
I still don't really like every other time.
Video games where we're going to drop a WCW, you know, and it's disco and maybe a flyby and filming
Mikey would crack up when he saw it. Who could have guessed the king of bad puns that is my great brother?
Here's Cody's ass. And here's pen.
And that's what you can do to Disco if you go to the Shake Shack. And if he opens up his pie hole, you can do that there too. He's known as a milk dispenser.
That's from Aaron Gilliam.
Did you have any, I know what you're editing with, did you have any Vegas food recommendations?
I got to answer this question.
I figured
yeah, two places off the grid. You can go to what's called Golden Steers and off the grid old school steakhouse delicious. That's off the grid. And another off the barbecue, there's a place called Chubby Cattle, which is all Wagyu meat. Delicious.
Oh,
but we got to go to a steakhouse when I go there because I think we're going there in September.
Okay.
How much more
Yeah,
tape
we'll go.
can he
And
go?
if you're there with Saturday night, next Sunday we can go watch a football games next day. Right up, we can do this, the what you call it? The doghouse and eight. Yeah, that's where I go to watch a football game. So, and also, I'm going to see the like any magic show, these guys, the best magicians in the world. All of them have freaky spots and acts and shit like tricks like crazy.
Which is your favorite?
Chris Angel.
Chris Angel?
Yeah, the next is Aaron Gilliard from Philly. Taking 100 footballs well, especially because of Conan. That's the Cigars is the AAA World Tag Team Champions. They have the titles of SmackDown. Well, they'll be defending on SmackDown now against AAA Superstars and SmackDown Superstars. Yes. Joe, what are the t-shirts you're supposed to do? I was trying to make you look. You can put them on your t-shirt. You can put them in a really big sold t-shirt now. And you're still not doing it. You'd rather keep all the shitty shirts you have and everything else. Yeah. Instead of making new ones, so they're going to buy.
Yeah, I lost t-shirts.
You're not an entrepreneur, Joe. You're not an entrepreneur. You're really an entrepreneur.
Delco Joe.
Yeah.
Delco Joe knows I'm an entrepreneur.
I used to be more.
Delco Joe just got
I used to be more entrepreneurial.
So what do you expect to make money if you don't do your search?
Because I put all my eggs in the KO member base.
Yeah, but you could, the people in the table from the back are telling you, hey, by the way, they do the shirt trade, which makes more money.
Yeah, I'll do 3 of the humble of the
You don't even need this guy. Delco Joe Feedy.
No, not the real Philly guys.
Oh, real Philly guy. We better have a guy. Just take a picture of like a necklace.
Yeah.
Put it in with a cheesesteak in his hand and like a Flyer jersey on. And I just
Cruising with class.
That is a Philly guy.
Flyer jersey.
Leo, Mikey, let's go.
And an eagle cap.
Yeah, that's great.
Especially with a little kid in the dinosaur.
Right, yeah.
Time to put your fire out.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from MLB, golf, NBA, and NHL playoff stats. All the latest stats and scores are available to you to follow your favorite team. So get the latest on the line, get your latest team matchups, player props, and odds of just about every sport out there. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to get NBA action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Little zing on top.
Yo, we're back with Disco
Guys, let's go.
segment, the Lucha Libre segment with our boy.
Leo, let's go. You the leader. Let's go.
Because you're always asking, hey, are we gonna? Is Harry coming in this week?
Yeah. Is Harry gonna be here? And Joe's like, no. And what about? Yeah, no, we don't have him this week. I'm like, yes.
But Jordy Roos, let's clam the letter.
I got a text from Joe. Disco's very disappointed that I haven't hit you up yet. So can you please come and do the podcast? I'm like, absolutely. Let's make Disco and all Lucha Libre fans happy. Conan, AAA in Querétaro, sold out crowd, June 21st, this past Saturday. You had a sold out crowd in Monterrey. You had a sold out crowd now in the central part of Mexico in Querétaro.
By the way, Harry, if you could, Conan, you need to find out the people at the buildings. Okay, and you need to get a contact and let that contact know, like, hey, we need the attendance for the shows. And you need to be able to get attendance.
That's my job. I already do it. Bro, when I put up pictures and I put
something that's not a count. You need to look at something very, very thing. Economics is the guy you should noodle.
Yeah, I got shit to do, bro. That's not my job. Yeah, so I used to do that.
Leo, let's go.
They got other people. They're getting paid to do it. Go ahead and do it. I put pictures up. I put pictures up where we're at, and that itself. Yeah, you want me to do what you want. This is
one of those things that I see the common management of my job. Because people don't like that. Like, they don't get things done.
Take the initiative.
I get more than, bro. Actually, let me just tell you this, and I've told you this before, but either you don't believe me or you think it's whatever. I really don't give a fuck, but I'm gonna say.
Hey, Prime.
I personally do the job of 8 people. Okay, what I do, 8 people do in WWE. I got shit. I'm not going to do that. That's not my job.
I agree. Or you're thinking like this, it's not your job. You need to tell whoever bring this very simplistic responsibility. When you get the configure, I need you to email me in a person. You get the figure to show the people
that it's a job. I said I would do that.
How would this guy know to do that?
I just told Joe, Joe told Brandon, and Brandon is including walking back up in the church. So
people because they can't face those jobs.
You can still look in virtual money exchange, you'll lose a little bit, and change all those pesos into dollars.
Yeah, when we're in Mexico, it's like equal pesos. Obviously, $10 out here in the States, you need the dollars.
The great thing about Mexico is everything's cheap there.
Unless you're in Tulum or Cancun in a touristic place, if you go to Mexico City and you can have a blast with limited amount of money
and still. Yeah, Cancun, yeah, because it's a tourism, right? Yeah,
that is it.
Do you need pass people in Mexico?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you absolutely do. And just going on to a quick Google search, the Auditorio General José María Arteaga, where you guys were at in Querétaro, has a capacity of 4,200 fans. That isn't counting the floor, which would add that number a little bit more and would include this crowd into one of that top 10 that the list that you guys shared the other day, where it was including some fans from Arena Mexico, from Arena Guadalajara. Obviously, a good crowd for a TV show that you guys had out there. Hot start. You had Dorian Cordan, the general director of AAA, in the ring, cutting a promo against the city of Querétaro, against the fans of Querétaro. And he called out, and he said, and keep the people. He used a very popular phrase with no te pertenece, that title doesn't belong to you. And right there for all the insiders, they know that he was talking about, including right there for the insiders, the no te pertenece, which is something that Octagon is using with Octagon Jr. with his character, but obviously Octagon, the character, the image, the likeness, the name belongs to AAA. I thought that was a nice little dig right there, Conan. What do you think?
Well, explain that story correctly, because I don't think people that don't know it.
Let's go, brothers!
Yeah, I know. I said, like, for the insiders, for people that know, they knew the moment that it was.
For people that don't know, why did he say that?
Yeah, Octagon, when he arrived to AAA, he didn't have the character that San Antonio Peña mastermind.
This is the original Octagon, the one that's not in AAA, that's stupid-ass, from going to take over the company and all that, and he adds his own Octagon Jr., who says it's
so
that we have it.
Get your
Oh, suing AAA, suing WWE, because he had the character for how long was it, Conan? 30 years?
I was explaining that to Disco, that in Mexico, people think that because they have the character a long time, it belongs to them, right? And that's like I've always said, fucking, what's this guy's name? Let's say Jack Nicholson played in Joker. He can't go play the Joker somewhere else, and it's not his. That's why they have different Jokers. Just like that. Triple A's. Again, they have to fight it, or I don't know. That never really happened. Right? Or maybe he registered it. He was super to register it. I really don't know what's going on there, but I know that we do have the rights to Octagon Jr.
Yeah, and it had been a while. I mean, you guys even had Kalisto, the guy that was in WWE, Kalisto, Samurai Sol, as Octagon Jr. in the past. Now you got this guy, but even, I think it was this guy who had a meet and greet at a lucha store in Mexico City, and Octagon popped up and confronted him.
Let's go!
And it's like, man, it's not it's not the kid's fault. He gets a character from the company. He's going to use the
So
character.
imagine this for people that don't know. This guy.
Leo, you're the leader. Let's go.
He's young. He's very respectful. And the old Octagon comes in with some muscle, right? And he goes up to him, he goes, you know, that's not your mask, and blah, blah, blah. And then he takes off his mask at a fucking signing. You know, that was viral.
Majority rules.
Yeah, and he says, that's actually been started.
This doesn't belong to you.
This doesn't belong to you. So that Dorian's in ring for the articles, he goes, referring to the big Bill Seeker's title.
Yeah, he's like, this guy purchase title. They went into, go for it, Joe. No, I got it.
Okay, explain it to me.
He's using the training from this controversial moment that happened at the sign, where he was not the game.
And he's been using it in interviews, he's been using it online, he's been using it everywhere. So it's pretty cool that Dorian just went into it and it's like, hey, let's use it on TV here with us. So in that promo, Kingo ended up asking for a match with
Vikingo's dad.
Yeah, Vikingo's dad asked for a match with El Patron. The announcers were all shocked. They're like, what? Are you serious? And then Dorian insulted King Vikingo. Vikingo and Vikingo ambushed Dorian. They started getting on him. And then two masked men came into the ring, which ended up being a Messias and Bestia 666, members of my bad. They used to be tag team partners, so they were in my head right there as the same one. So
let's go, boys.
And rushed them out of the ring, and they ended up with a backstage segment where they kept on funneling them, and Alberto Patron showed up with the kendo stick, attacked both of the guys, sent them to the hospital, and then they came out back to the ring, still in the same segment, attacked the announcers, including Roberto Figueroa, who was very friendly with the logo, which is really good. I wish they would have sold it a little bit more, but I do understand that they wanted to go back on the mic. And that was a great segment. They went back in the ring, and this was my favorite part of the show, where Alberto kind of like turned his back with Dorian Roldan because he doesn't feel the love, he doesn't feel the support from a local. I honestly feel like they are getting all that. They're trying to take advantage of that heat of people thinking that Alberto's getting pushed aside by WWE or by AAA because of all the stuff that happened in the past, and the fans are supporting him. So I think there could be a babyface turn, but I'm learning it that you guys are taking advantage of it. Conan is like, hey, people want to see Alberto, people want him to leave Dorian Roldan, and I think like there could be some heat there too.
Right. You're absolutely right. That's what I listen to the crowd. Go against the coach. They booed him, they loved it. If you're going to cheer him, I'll give you the reason to cheer.
Yeah, they're booing the heck out of Dorian Roldan in the local, but they're cheering the hell out of Alberto El Patron. So you guys are hearing what the fans want, and you are giving to them. I was putting it this way, Conan, thinking about it, like how AEW didn't capitalize on CM Punk and the Elite. Everybody knew what had happened there, but they didn't want to.
Let's go, team.
Towards it. They were like, no, separate shows, separate locker rooms. They're not going to interrupt. Here,
well, they missed a moment there to really get viewers in and maybe stay. They did not. Me and Disco ripped them up over that. Yeah, because WWE would take advantage of shit like that.
That was a money-making machine right there. Right? Yeah. They were like, no, let's just keep everybody happy and let's just separate these two guys right here. It's like, hey, you guys are jumping towards the okay. Let's have Alberto be pissed off at Dorian for this reason, which is very valid, and instead of just being like, okay, let's see where it takes us.
And it gets deeper because I don't think you saw this. I'm not sure if it came out yet. There's a backstage interview where Messias is asking Alberto that what's going on. Why is he saying that people are jealous of him? I'm your friend. You know, I went out there, I was with you in the cage match.
Let's go, Leo and Mikey.
You see that?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So I don't think it's come out yet. And, you know, he's telling them,
fuck the foot, let's go.
Something's going on behind your back in Rojo, I'll let you know.
So pull up the cage match ratings from the
and they shake hands.
That's
from the Triple H show this past week. The King of What would you, Conan, if you were doing star rating, how many stars did you give the Kingdom versus star ratings? I'm saying hypothetically speaking, if you did, how many did you give?
Okay, here's the thing. The Kingo Chat Gamer, right?
No, the Kingdom versus the Alberta.
So oh, the page one from Monterrey.
Yes. Yes. Page from Monterrey.
Yeah, he did the Kingdom versus
If I had to give that up to my rules, then
okay, just so you know, like, I was going to say, we'll keep it on 100. There's been a lot of backlash to really some of the spots worked out with the fire extinguishers, something like this. Yeah, so fair is fair. Alright, so Conan, here's Conan. Got the actual with the AAA, admitting that he thought the match wasn't good. So let's keep it on 100. That's where we're going to go. What about it? Well, let's talk about this, Harry. What about the big number here, AEW Dynamite last week, the CMLL show? Like, what is we give our opinions on why the number is so high. What's your opinion about it?
I mean, it was the same thing why they had that many fans in the stands, because it was the first time there, and I mean,
why did it do so well in the number in the States? Like, what look like?
Same reason, because people are like, ooh, they are coming live from Mexico City, which, for example, WWE hasn't done in
let's get the pizza.
Decades that they haven't had a live Raw or SmackDown from Mexico City. They just do house shows, so fans wanted to see how the fans would react, how the show would go on, and they knew that Mystico was going to be wrestling MJF. That's a top of the line match right there. I completely
disagree with everything you're saying. Let me tell you why, my opinion, right? Just like the AAA Worldwide show. Okay, versus WWE. The actual organization was like AAA. Now, if you're
Leo,
you come to the United States and you don't get Lucha anymore, and it's like you're hearing on TV, wow, AAA is great place in LA. Like AAA do it. Like if you get to, it's like, wow, there's going to be Arena Mexicans on TV on Wednesday night. Like, there's got to be a lot of Mexican fans here to play. You have to go to Arena Mexico. Half the people are here in London. Yeah. So this is this. What would you think of the movies? If you did 7:30 wrestling.
Say 680.
Okay. They didn't lose 30% of the audience from last week. So last week, they gained a considerable amount of Mexican viewers that wanted to watch Arena Mexico.
Gotta take advantage of it while it lasts.
Like, there's just an outlier number. Plus, it was treated like a payment. Like, they've been over for like about 2 months.
Yeah, man, but like you're both kind of saying the same thing. It is. We all know what it is. It's the novelty.
Right.
Is Tony ever going to get 92,000 in England again? I doubt it. You know, because it was the novelty.
Right.
But this is the thing. If the show was good, which that show in England, that was considered a good show, right? The 92,000 was a good show. You're the expert here.
Sorry, fellas, I had some issues with my AirPods, and I had to take them out and put the speaker on my computer first.
Okay, so
yeah, this still says it's because Mexican fans,
I don't know, I just want to ask you a question. Was it considered that show in London, I believe it was, the one that did 92,000, a good show?
Yeah, it was a good show.
So that'll help them when they come back. But I don't think they'll hit 90 again, right? Or maybe 98.
Oh, they have been there twice.
And how they do the second time?
There's like 25% less.
Okay. So I think that
for 24 was 46,476. That counts the previous year, which was 72,265. So it's like 4%, almost 30,000 less.
Yeah. So I think what I think this is going to help us because a lot of people watch the show, and of course there's word of mouth, and everything's been positive, right? Very little people did not like the show. So now the word's out that show is good. And then the next place we go to, which I already know, which has a lot of Mexicans, I think that, they're going to do good. Plus, bro, here's the thing that they don't understand in the United States, because even though they have...
that thing's one of us.
They don't understand, bro, how rabid the Mexican fans are. They absolutely, especially in Juárez. That's why everybody goes to El Paso, Impact, like they love it, they want to go back, because AEW, you saw how they treated them. They went to Israel, they just love, that's a wrestling city.
And that's something that you want for TV. Heck, Eddie Guerrero, when he had his championship celebration going back to the Don Haskins Center in El Paso on SmackDown, I think it was, that fan base was nuts. It was incredible. I think he wrestled John Cena that night before John Cena was as huge as he is now. And it's like, why don't they go back to El Paso?
Come on, Leo!
And that AEW have recognized, and the more Mexican fans you have, or Mexican heritage fans, if you want to call them like that, go to those kind of cities. LA, obviously, is a great example, but LA is like a huge with fans from all over the world. Conan, the next show, you said you know where it is already. East Coast, West Coast. Do we know? Can we get a hint on that? Okay. We'll keep it on that. Going back to the AAA show, Vikingo didn't wrestle because he got transported to a medical facility, so Cyberclown took his place. Hijo de Corvaque Jr., La Parca, and Cyberclown defeated Enriquez, El Patron Alberto, and Mecha Wolf in the main event of that show. We already got some matches for your next big event, which is July 11th, Verano de Escándalo. You're going to have the tag team match, father-son duo, King Vikingo, Hijo del Vikingo versus Alberto, El Patron, and El Mesias. You're going to have La Parca, go Coconut. You got La Parca's first match in Verano de Escándalo, the new iteration of La Parca. He's teaming with Niño Hamburguesa, Aerostar versus the Psycho Circus, who just reunited in this show.
And we're super duper over Querétaro. People love that.
I know, and
maybe we could put Disco in as a good payaso.
Hey, Disco, would you be down for that? Would that be an angle to be part of the...
They have a clown, and then they have a Panic Clown, and Dave the Clown, and we could have Predator.
What about Frank the Clown? You think that was funny song?
He used to listen to our show, I remember he told him, right? Joe said,
he started in the song, I heard the first thing, I've heard of it.
He got thrashed. Good.
Well, in case the Psycho Circus need a fourth payaso, this one might be for the challenge right there, yeah? El Payaso Bingo, would you be down for that, Disco?
There's a trio called the Payaso.
You were just taking advantage that he wasn't paying attention right there.
Yeah, you got that all the time. Yeah.
We got another trio match, El Fiscal, Pagano, and Cibernet.
Let's go, guys!
Hyper, Bispo Negro, Taurus.
Let's go, Leo!
I feel that match could also put that crowd in Aguascalientes pretty high.
That see which from Yugoslavia. And he's super duper with it. It's ridiculous.
So let's see, Verano Escándalo, like I said, July 11th, so that means it's 2 weekends away.
We got the rock. That's no.
HBO Max, if you have it in the States, use a VPN and you're able to watch the show live. Are there any more news from AAA that we should be on the lookout for?
I think the biggest thing is that we're working with WWE, they're gonna, start helping us professionalize. And we don't have the resources, you know what I'm saying? And so they're going to help us with our production, so the show's going to be 50 times better, right? You would WWE rings, so, they're little by little improving the company that they're not.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say, I forgot to mention this last week, about the mat in the ring.
Right.
Super dirty. I was like, man, I'm pretty sure there's going to be people in WWE that see with that. So, obviously, once they see stuff like that, then they...
But it's the same thing, bro. They got 50 guys that clean the ring. We've got like four or five.
Just set up the ring and do everything.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So, that's the difference.
Yeah.
They're and they understand.
Leo, let's go.
Let's see what the chairman has in store.
absolutely. And after what they saw with AEW and CMLL, I'm pretty sure that they want to do now a counterpunch to be like, all right, now it's our turn to do something big. There's a rumor online. I don't know if it's true. I'll ask you, Conan. That AAA is going to be completely taken over from WWE in Triplemania, Ciudad de México, the one in August. Is that something accurate, where like it's going to be all full force WWE starting then?
I don't know yet.
Let's rip some booty. Come on, Mikey. Let's kick some booty here.
You know.
And I'm keeping my fingers crossed because like this week, they only posted snippets of the stuff that happened during the Querétaro show, and like the Triple Mania Regia were there the whole show. Folks in the States, it would be better if we get a whole show online to be able to enjoy without needing VPNs, and hopefully soon also a TV show where we're able to watch it on TV. Something real quick from CMLL on their show on Friday in Arena Mexico, where they still had folks from AEW, from New Japan Pro Wrestling. The main event was the tag team match where you had Bandido and Hologram from AEW versus Místico and Máscara from CMLL. A really good match where it was surprising that Bandido pinned Místico to finish the show, and now they're going to go with their running away weekend in Mexico City one-on-one. I'm pretty sure Místico is going to go over, but it's not often that you get to see Místico getting pinned by an outsider in Arena Mexico.
And maybe Tony Khan has to go.
Yep, and now it makes sense knowing that there's a return match with Bandido going back to Arena Mexico this weekend. And also,
that was not working. That's a good main event, right? And Místico gets the win. It's a good match.
Yeah, you can't have a bad match with the four guys that were in the tag team next week, and you can't have a bad match with Bandido this weekend.
Right.
And also something cool that happened in that show, just to wrap up the Lucha segment. Kalimba, a very famous singer in Mexico for over the last 20, 30 years. Leo Rush has been getting chanted by the fans, Kalimba, because he looks like Kalimba. Well, after their match on Friday where Leo Rush was involved, Kalimba came out with a t-shirt that said, "I'm not Leo Rush." Did like the face-off with him in the center of the ring in Arena Mexico. It was something cool.
They usually do stuff like that.
It's away from like all the mainstream stuff, but some way, somehow, they ended up getting Kalimba, and if you go online, you're able to see that little moment, and I mean, there's something cool that was online. Yeah, definitely too. They did the backstage photo, like, you know, the Spider-Mans, where they have the three Spider-Mans pointing at each other, so Kalimba and Leo Rush. Obviously, Kalimba a little bit taller than Leo, but they got the same look, so that's all we got for this week in the Lucha stuff.
All right. Where can we find it?
Yeah, check me out on Twitter at Harry Ruiz, on Instagram at Harry_Ruiz. I'm going to be posting some content I had from the SAC Summits, where you had some of the best edge rushers in the NFL out here in Las Vegas this morning. Interviewed Calais Campbell, spoke with Sean Merriman, former Chargers player, Cam Jordan, Max Crosby, Von Miller.
Is this in English or in Spanish?
In English. Well, I spoke with them in English and subtitled them in Spanish, so that way fans both from Mexico, Latin America, Spain, they can get their content. But also,
come on, boys, let's do it.
Up there in English.
Where can they find us?
Ricky Leo
Ruiz on Twitter, at Harry_Ruiz on Instagram.
All right, Harry. Thank you very much for being on the Lucha Libre segment.
Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure being on here with you.
Hey.
Somebody, I don't know if this is so WrestleVotes, I don't know if these guys are credit. Okay, so WrestleVotes credit.
Just make sure it's not a WrestleVotes without the R, I think.
For WrestleVotes, with Vincent Mandalore and WWE, the writing on the wall, this is up to the new WWE show in Stamford, Connecticut. TKO is looking to move WWE headquarters out west to Las Vegas.
It covers all the
I'll be assuming the leadership position in that company is sure. That's not a match.
I think.
What do you think if they move here? How are they going to want to take over?
Do you think one of the
take over if they moved here? I would convince them to put me in charge.
Yeah, of what?
Publish up the
kitchen.
No, that's underneath it. The Jeremy's boss, your boss.
So never happened. If you're the guy that came up with building and the
I like it now. I think too.
and also the next guy.
Well, I came up with the next.
If you're looking to improve exercise performance, increase strength, enhance stamina, mental wellness, and youth, we invite you to check out the AeonMan.com, TheAeonMan.com. Use code Wellness15, you get 15% off your first order. And they even offer 10%
Mikey, quit him.
paid orders as well. So you can start out with that 15% off, and if you
Why, Mikey, why?
you get 10% off as well.
Yeah, we're always getting stuff to try, and there's a lot of stuff, as you know, Joe, that we're not going to pass on to our listeners. But this was great. These supplements of wellness for men has been great. Super protein. As you know, I'm really into nutrition now that I've gotten older, and I got to watch, what I eat and what my intake is. They have like superfood protein, which builds muscles and shreds unwanted body fat. Proteins that boost the metabolic rate, sugar cravings, and boost immunity. Nature's natural testosterone, which actually here the velvet extract. And there's stuff for joint pains. So this is high quality stuff. People that are serious about their nutrition and their health, they've got everything here. Go to their website at TheAeonMan.com. Check it out. Let us know what you think.
I checked it out, John. I have the Ashwick on the way. And what that is it's known for supporting your overall health and energy levels, but it also supports
Get him, brother.
and helps support the natural response to stress. So that's what I'm looking for sure. And as we update our talk about TMNT here, I'll let you guys know how to stand out.
I tried their creatine monohydrate and also their omega-3 fish oil. Loved it. That's why we're promoting it. So check it out. It has all your health.
Because people hated that I hate them. I mean, the AEW fucking they prefer hearing the hate instead of,
I hate people that
I don't even know why they think it's hate.
This guy did this, I'm not going to listen to his music anymore. Okay, well, you don't have to associate with him, but what does it need? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I enjoy talking with you guys.
Johnny, let's go.
About AEW, so I got no issue at all. By the way, Disco, I went on WrestleVotes on the official Twitter account, and there's no information regarding that, so it's more than likely just somebody.
Well, I'm going to throw one. Don't let the speaker get steal.
No misinformation. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
You don't want to get information and misinformation. Okay, so the Human Rhymes. The show starts off at Tony Storm and Luther walking backstage. They were attacked by Mercedes Donation. People are pretty good. Getting out of the way on the entrance road. So this was a good attack. Why was this a good attack?
Because they don't usually do shit like this.
And because Mercedes Donation, the WWE, when you do shit like this, it has to look good. Right. When you do it right. So she made the body that this was really good. Like, it's a pretty good.
And it was different too. I don't think two women have ever started a brawl in AEW. Yeah, correct.
You know what I would have done though? Just for, she kind of like shut the Luther guy down, right?
Right.
I would have walked up and just did the first spot, kicked him right in the balls.
Right.
And he's doing Marcella, and she beat the, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't do it. So what?
I've said this. If Disco disagrees with you, I don't think he was glad that he did too bad. Every time I see him, I just laugh.
I feel like I heard him say a word.
Right. So he doesn't talk for her. She doesn't need to be talk for him. Right? He doesn't get involved in her matches. Right? He just stands with white gloves, makes faces at him. The other guy I haven't seen in a while. That male cheerleader with Nicky Mouse clubs. I think Luna's not a true business.
I think that everybody they have to think on the Jose is kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because I saw him doing a podcast, he was talking about his time in AEW.
Wow.
So what the poor Luther guy, he has this gimmick, he's got to wear that, kind of like it's a pricey tuxedo suit, which you have to get dry cleaned every week.
Nice.
So this
Another challenge.
he has to go back and forth to the dry cleaners every week just because he has to wear that.
You're probably getting paid well, and it's better than working at fucking IHOP or some shit.
Yeah, dude, Luther hadn't been on any American.
I heard everybody making six figures. Could you imagine taking over $100,000 in that gig?
Right. That's what I'm saying. You know, he doesn't have to be the most he can like carry Tony Storm up the ring and make it.
No, take him.
That's what you get paid for, and wearing a casino?
It's flying to my life. Okay, he's on the show. Yeah, the machine on probably 75% of the shows, right? It's the same thing. It's basically 40 weeks out of the year. Okay, so every time he shows up, it's like, oh, imagine if you paid that character. And you're running a show, and that guy, at the end, you get that guy $2,500. This guy who would do that job?
Sign me up.
So this was a kind of a silly thing they did at the beginning here, because the Young Bucks had used the backstage pole to move Storm Strickland and Will Ospreay's car. It's getting later to happen right now. Alright, I'm serious. This to me was
another parlay with the chairman.
It's a huge Ospreay's entrance music.
New merchandise.
Alright, and so the gimmick is supposedly the rush, right? For some inexplicable reason, Ospreay ran out there. It's like, dude, if you like, you need to, hey, hold on a minute, I gotta like, they slung out, ran out there, like, I don't know, I thought it was,
That's the exact reason why he rushed out. So they obviously let it, for like 15, 20 seconds of the song without Ospreay coming out. A part of the song where he's in the ring, up in the third rope, and everybody goes, oh, Ospreay.
Well, let's go.
Yeah. Before that cue, he had to be in the ring so everybody would chant Ospreay, Ospreay 3 times. So that's the reason.
But I will never fear you.
Then you are only half correct. Running around, grabbing the hands. And, by the way, it's still the black eye and the cover on the head, right, Disco?
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. Oh, it'll feel good. Oh, darkness into. Oh, health is lagging.
Bring it on, Sweater, you bitch.
Feeling so good.
TV for almost 2 years. And then
Get your ass! This about to be the final time. Please let it be over, man.
Here's another one of his friends, and Cody Bush comes on it. It should have been a huge deal. But he's not a huge deal. That's what
The fourth and final. Is it over? Did we get Splintered back?
Used to us spanking him by now.
Him and fucking Raven finally hook up, that whole place is gonna come, you know.
All of Father's veggies and rice?
Together.
Hey, dude, you better not be starving our sensei in there.
Please do not concern yourself with my son. I am sustained by your love for me. It is enough.
I must say, if melodrama was edible, you would certainly be well good Japanese wrestling, these guys do. As for me, okay? So, but he's giving them what they want. That's what I'm trying to say. If anything that I've said wrong, Harry, because you're the AEW fan.
You're on the spot, man.
But you don't think it was, you know more about AEW than this guy who's got a license.
No, I just know that, like, I know that New Japan, when it was on TV, was doing like 2,000.
Yes, Metalhead?
Right.
Okay?
Warning, incoming!
That's
I
TV
had to ask.
mobile.
I see that. How'd it go? And what's that smell?
The nose is indicates a combination of Chinese sativas, raspberry sativas, cucumber sativas. Thank you, Metalhead. I'll take it from here. It's Master Splinter's famous vegetables and rice, April.
He gave you food?
And they know their
Not
history.
just food,
So to them,
Father's favorite bowl, too, which I'm hoping is another item missing from Metalhead's inventory list.
Analysis complete. Food container confirmed as missing inventory item.
Which means our pattern gets clearer and our list gets shorter.
And so does our path to victory. And finally getting Sensei back.
And stopping the chump holding him hostage.
Or at the very least, finding out who he is and how he's connected to both Shredder and Stockman. Well, it feels like we're starting to get to him at least. You could almost hear the worry in his voice. He didn't sound like a guy who was winning this time.
And let's keep it that way.
you just said, right?
Yeah, dudes, let's go. We've got more trophies to get.
Japan getting 400,000.
No, that's it for me. I'm out.
Available as Access TV on cable.
That's not the point, Harry. I'm saying they have they've got a way bigger audience for AEW than they had for New Japan.
I'm gone, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. I'm out.
Available on